Okay. And
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the free Zoom call on Conscious Parents, Conscious Kids.
Yay! Hello.
And I'm here with Chandana, and I'm Dr. Glenna Rice, and we are both Conscious Parents, Conscious Kids facilitators. Chandana is just the newest, first addition to this wonderful new group. I don't know what to call it. It's in the hub. But Conscious Parents, Conscious Kids is a class that I've been teaching for quite a few years, and it's been added to the hub, and we have facilitators all over the world that are joining, and I think it's one of the fastest hub groups that's growing. So you can probably find out more about that at some link somewhere we could add.
And growing so fast and so beautifully, almost taking its own pace.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like telling you, catch me if you can. You know, like those little kids when they're running and they're like, catch me if you can. That's pretty much the same energy that this class has.
Yeah. We're excited because we're doing a really awesome, the first 2-day Conscious Parents, Conscious Kids class ever.
Wow.
In India.
The first one. Awesome.
The first 2-day that's ever been.
Wow. Yes.
Coming up in India. And this is kind of a teaser or a taster for what this is.
I like the teaser. I like the teaser more than the taster. Taster makes me feel like food. Teaser makes me feel like fun.
We're teasing you, parents, more possibilities of having some ease with parenting, because parenting is kind of crazy. There's no, rule books or tool books that actually work very well, and Access has so many possibilities on how to create this really different so it works for you. So we can, and any questions you guys have about anything with parenting or whatever, please ask us. And so, Chandana, what's your favorite tool?
Oh, my favorite tool, the one I really enjoy playing with, is willing to be judged as a mom, which I do get a lot of. And it's so wonderful to have my daughter on. And it's like constantly one gets judged to be not doing it the correct way, or giving in too much to the kids, or not giving in enough, not giving them enough time, or giving them too much time. There's always a constant judgment. And it used to come from within. It used to be me, where parenting was concerned. That's the way I parented, right? By judging myself. And now that's not there, because I just have fun with doing whatever works for me. But yes, I do get the judgment from around me. A lot of it. And it's fun. It's like, okay, I'm doing something right.
No, that's willing to be a bad mom. It's one of the, main ways to create an ease of parenting is being willing to be a bad mom. Being as a bad mom. It's funny because you're in India, I'm in America, totally different countries, raising kids, and this way we will try to parent so that nobody judges us and we try to get it right is universal. I mean, I've done classes in Japan and South America, all over Europe, and it's common everywhere that we are trying to make our parenting fit into what our culture says, what our family wants, what we think is right, the way we were parented. And none of it has anything to do with how we would like to have our families be, like how we would like to raise our children and what our children would desire. And I remember being a new mom moving here to Marin, which is a kind of wealthy area in America, and going around, because I'd lived in Boston, which was kind of inner city school, totally different parenting practices, at least I thought they were. And I was trying to fit in, and I remember going around the table with the preschoolers and looking what other parents were putting in their lunch boxes so I could get the lunchbox right. And there was no question of what my daughter would like to eat, what my daughter would desire, and what would actually work for us every morning to put together for a meal for her. It was trying to get it right and fit in so I wouldn't be judged or she wouldn't be judged. And it wasn't creating any kind of a lightness for us. It was just trying to get it right. So everywhere you're trying to get parenting right, trying not to get it wrong, not to be judged, and unwilling to be a bad parent. Would you guys like to destroy and uncreate all of that?
Yes, please.
Yep.
Right? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. We could be each other's pod pockers if we pod pock.
Actually, we could do that, right? That would be so much fun.
Yeah.
You bring up the energy and I go pock pot it. And then I bring up the energy and you go pock pot it. Yeah.
Get ready for a co-creation or If you guys don't know what I just said, if anyone's brand new and just popped on and doesn't have any idea what access is or what that clearing statement was, a way to we bring up energies that you're stuck in, limiting you, not working so well, and if you want to get rid of them, you just say yes. And if you want to know more, you can go to theclearingstatement.com, and there's a whole page there talking about it. Dr. Dane here has a wonderful explanation. And maybe someone can put that, maybe you can put that in the chat, clearingstatement.com for people. Any questions? Is anything written in? So willing to be a bad parent. Should we give them another tool?
You know, just in connection to what we were talking about, willing to be a bad parent and about being judged, that's probably one of the most rational areas, right, in our life. I mean, you look at business, you don't mind, you don't judge yourself as much as if you lose all your money, or if your partner leaves you, or if you decided that your marriage isn't working. But judging yourself as not having parented your kids properly, oh my God. It's like there could be nothing worse than that on this planet Earth.
No, and they'll remember it forever, right? They'll be like in their 60s, remember those terrible things mom did.
Absolutely.
And everyone will
grow up.
Yeah, it is one of the most, something we try to avoid. And when you try to avoid it, you cannot parent the way it would work for you. You can't even ask the question when you're trying to avoid the judgment of what would work for me and my kids. What do my kids require here? What do your kids know? I mean, this is a great tool for parents, all parents, to start asking your children what they know. And you'll be amazed. I've got these two little boys staying with me this week, and my youngest daughter, who's 15 now, came out and was asking me if she could not go to school today, last night. And we have an eye appointment, and she wanted to miss the whole day. She's exhausted. She's been activity overloaded, and her body is really tired. And I was like, yeah. And then she was in a dilemma about how much homework she was going to have to make up. And we asked the boys what they knew. And they were like, oh, so you would have to have double homework then. You're going to have double homework if you miss the day. But it's so fun to miss a day. And it was amazing at like 6 and 8 what they actually knew and the information. And they actually helped her, their big cousin, with her choice for today. And she did. She slept in, and it's really wonderful for her body to have that this morning.
That's a fun choice. Only kids can get you to choose, can get you to make, right? It's like when we come from the other space of what we should be choosing and what we shouldn't be choosing, it's almost as in we tune ourselves to become these machines that we have to do, and we have to be what we are supposed to be. It's not about really stopping and asking, hey, do I really need to just stop here and probably pull over and just rest for a while? That isn't even there in our universe. Yeah.
Yeah. Or with our kids. It's the school thing. I know lots of parents have school questions. That's always really big in the classes. Yeah. And my kids can always, if they require a day from school, ask me for that. That's one of the parenting rules, is that you can ask for that. And then we'll ask what it's going to create. So the kind of things that I would ask her is, if you don't go, what's it going to create for your future? What's it going to create tomorrow? And if you do go to school, what's it going to create? What's going to create more for you if you choose this? The only thing I like them to do is to ask me the night before so I could sleep in also.
Yes, very important.
Can I share a little story about exactly that?
Say that again?
I said, can I share a little story about exactly that?
Oh, please, yes.
Please do.
We had to go to the dentist last Friday with the whole family, and it's not here, it's in Amsterdam, it's about an hour away. And so I usually do that with, all together. So we had this appointment, and at 8:30, that's like an hour and a half before we're supposed to be there, before we're supposed to leave, the dentist calls and says, hey, she's sick. But I had already told, I had already given my daughter a permission slip to, you know, to miss her class, saying that she has to go to the dentist and I'm going to pick her up at 11. So I apped my, I sent my daughter an app saying, listen, we're not going to have to go to the dentist because she's sick. So I guess you're going to have to share your books for, you know, for the other hours that she's, you know, that she didn't bring her books, of course, for the other hours that she was going to miss. So I guess you're just going to have to share the books. And then later I was like, that's not really light. So I asked her a question. I said, or do you want to still go ahead and leave school at 11 and then we'll go do the other stuff that we were supposed to do after going to the dentist? So what's light for you? So a little bit later, I got a message from her. Come and pick me up at 11. So the fun thing was, it just kind of clicked with me. I was like, I think it's a better idea to go, you know, to go to our city close to us and, you know, shop for whatever we were supposed to shop. So we did that. And on top of that, so funny that was that we met some, or actually we went to this store that we knew the owner of. And she had brought me and her into contact with somebody that would that could probably use her to do makeup on stuff. She wants to be a makeup artist, and so she, you know, provided that contact. And I said, why don't we just go there? And I just have the feeling that we have to go there and just, you know, talk to her and see whatever comes up. So we did that. We had to walk back, like, you know, we were not supposed to do that because I had to be back to pick up my son and all those kinds of, you know, reasons that we were not supposed to go there, but we still did. So we went there and this lady goes, yeah, well, you know, I talked to her, and did you check out that that school, it's called Art of Colors, that school to be a makeup artist? And I said, no, actually, that did not come back into my awareness at all, and not in hers either. She goes, well, you know, if you have time, you can just walk a little bit further, which was further away from where we were supposed to go. So we went there after all, talked to the owner. It was not open, but, you know, we got, somebody told us, just go there, and that's where the owner is right now. She's not here. So we talked to the owner, and I asked her, well, first question, what age do you have to be to start this school? She goes, 16. So my daughter goes, that sucks. She's 14. And then she goes, but what age are you? And she goes, 14. Well, I think I have a spot for you, because I mean, you seem like you could still fit in the group that we have, and I think you're like old enough, maybe not your age, but when I look at you, I think you can handle this. It's more like, you know, can kids handle this as to being exactly that age? So now, the funny thing is, she can start this school. It actually already basically waved it away, going, you know, I have to be 16 for all that stuff, you know, for all the schools that I found. So just never mind. I'll just, you know, go to school until at least I'm 16, just finish my high school and, you know, be bored.
Smart choice.
And now she can do that. That is, I mean, that was so awesome. I said, look at this. I asked you, you know, what is light? And it was light for me to just have her skip school. I mean, that's a funny, I mean, you know, I told her, I said, maybe you should not tell everybody else.
You told the school
that your mom told you, you know, to skip school. But
the bad mom, right? Once again, being willing to be judged as a bad mom.
I know. I was like, I don't
making smart choices.
Yeah. But I actually told her also, I said, if we can find something that you can do instead of, you know, like doing all that shit in high school that you have, that's like absolutely no use. She tells me, Mom, this is so no use. I mean, why would I have to learn this? I forget about it right after the test. And I'm not going to use all this shit. So what's the point?
Well, that's another good. No, that whole thing with school, that's another, you know, because kids do have that point of view. That's where you start asking, what's it going to create? Because, yeah, we don't remember all the stuff from school, but going to school and graduating, what's it going to create? And if you don't graduate, what's it going to create? And let them know what their what every choice they're making now is creating in their future. Like the choice to not go to school. Look what that created in their future.
Yeah.
This is a great example of following the energy and being willing to be out of the box and willing to be a bad parent, letting your kids skip school. This is a terrible thing for a parent to do. But look what it created.
Yeah.
And letting her choose and going along with their choices, because they have so much awareness about what their future actually is creating if we allow it.
Yeah. I haven't asked her that question. That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah. She cried actually when I told her. I said, if we can find something else for you that is so, that will, actually I didn't say what that will create more, but that you're going to have more fun, doing, and it will create more. I said, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, if that's possible. I mean, I'll go to the authorities and say, hey, listen, this is what my kid wants to do. And I know it is possible because I heard it from some other mom who also did the same thing. They have to be in school. It's a law here in Holland. They have to be in school, I think, until they're 16 or something. And but she got out of that too because she just talked to that, that whatever person that, decides all that, saying, listen, this is what she wants to do, and this is where she can go and do it and, learn it and be it. And she got out of it. She got out of the law and just did her own thing. So I was like, if that's, if we can do that, if that's really, really what you want, I'm willing to go that way. And she just cried. She was like, she just started crying. I said, what's going on? She goes, well, just from gratefulness that her mom would actually just go totally the opposite way as everybody's telling her.
Yeah, that's that other, like, empowering your kids, really empowering them to choose for them and honoring their choices and willing to let them fail also. I mean, we have to be, willing to be bad parents, but we have to be also willing to let our children fail in their choices, because if they create something that doesn't quite work for them, they will have that awareness forever. If we tell them no, they can't, that does not give them any awareness of what their choices are creating. But if you can step back and allow them, which they really don't. I don't know, Chandana, did your kids ever really mess up when you let them?
Oh, did they? Isha, did you ever mess up?
Never.
No. Never. I'm perfect. No, of course I have messed up so many times.
Well, what did that do?
Sorry?
Oh, I was just going to ask, when you were able to mess up, what did that gift you?
Empowerment. Even if I mess up, I can stand up and still walk. There's no stopping.
Stopping you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yes, and that's one thing which I think every time that the kids mess up, and I think we all do. As parents, we mess up. As kids, we mess up. But the general reaction to the messing up is, oh my God, what did you do? And now it's never going to be okay. It's like you literally react to it in a manner that solidifies it as something that's just so important that can never change. And if actually you just ask certain questions around that, you start to have so much start to shift around it, which is really not messing up. It's just about something different getting created, which is generally greater, right, Glenna? Generally. Not always.
If it's your point of view about it that can create that greatness. I mean, if you see it as a mistake and a problem, that's what it turns out to be. But if you can look at it from, like, what is this creating? One of the great questions, we'll give another tool out here that I've used over and over with parenting, is what's so right about this I'm not getting? Yeah. With the energy of something that seems like, your kids aren't going to school, they're not finishing their homework, whatever that is. It's like, what's so right about this I'm not getting? And you're looking for kind of a lightness in that question, that there is something that they're creating and you may not be aware of it yet. Yeah. And that can ease parents.
Yes. And it's acknowledging with asking that question that they are aware of something.
Yeah.
Which has them choosing what they're choosing. So it's also not just asking, it's actually acknowledging that they are aware of it. And having that show up, having that energy show up, having them knowing that they are gifted, they are different, they have the capacity to know, they're not willing to know it. So what if, you can actually just be that energy for them to allow them to know what they know without a judgment of it.
And then we just have to work on ourselves to step back and allow it.
And, having said that, Rabia has something very interesting that she says, which she says, worst is not doing right by your parents. It's both ways in my community. Rabia, do you want to come in and talk about that?
Hey.
I'm
sorry, my lights are switched off. I'm in bed, so fine. I cannot turn on the video. So in my culture, which is the Islamic culture, the whole ideal is built around parents are never wrong, no matter what they say. And as me, as the daughter or whatever, as the children, it is my job to always do right by them. Which means literally, this is what we've been like, we grew up with, that even if they are like the most evil parents on the planet, they are never wrong. And you're just supposed to bow down your head and, like, you know. So it brought that up for you, and you were talking about the worst thing is if you're not doing parenting right. Maybe in other cultures it's like that, but like I grew up with this, where it's all the like parents are always right.
And the worst thing is being a kid wrong.
The worst thing is, sorry?
Being a kid the wrong way, not parents doing it wrong, but kids doing it wrong. There's a lot of judgment in that too, and it does that. You see that in all cultures, but it is a little bit more intense. I can tell from yours what you're saying.
Yeah, very intense in my culture for sure.
Yeah.
So what tools could you use so you could have ease? What if you could look like the perfect child and do whatever you desired?
How is that ever possible, to look like the perfect child but do whatever you desire?
You want the tools, come to class, darling.
Okay, now I hear you.
Now you hear us, yes.
Yeah, and this class isn't just for parents. It's for kids, definitely. The requirements are that you ever had a parent in any life and you were ever a kid in any life. And I think that's every.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's amazing because
I could sense it. Like I'm a cat mother, so that way I'm still a parent, but I could sense that there's something that possibly could shift between me and my parents with this class. So,
and I've seen that in a lot of classes where someone who's not a parent but an adult and changes their relationship with their parents, so it's greater. Absolutely.
Even with
and
parenting coming in from an aspect, it's like when parenting too is coming in from an aspect, and when you're coming for a class, it's like you start to realize that how many judgments did you have and how much of wrongness was in you without you even knowing it was there, that actually has you parenting from that space. So that when that starts to shift, so much of your relationship with your parents start to shift.
Yeah. You start to have more allowance for your parents.
Yeah. Yep.
I definitely have that going on. And my parents are living here in my house now. And I'm seeing some of the way they be during the day. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I say the same things. And then I'm like, how did I survive this?
Yeah.
And then it's
and
just
also,
Go ahead.
So what you were talking about, the allowance of parents, I think what changed for me a lot was knowing that they did what they did with the tools that they had without really making them wrong for it. And I really get that it was really, really great. Maybe if I had those tools, I'm not sure if I could have even done what they did. Yeah. And now that I have different tools, and if I don't use them now, well, then when? Right?
Yeah, good point. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, and we picked our parents, and our kids picked us.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were all in choice. No one was forced on us. So what's so right about our kids and our parents we're not getting?
Yeah, that's such a beautiful question, Glenna. One of my favorite questions. I just love asking that.
Mm-hmm. Any last questions? We're going to end soon. Should we talk about the class? So there's the two-day parenting class coming up in Delhi, and it's live stream, guys. So if you're not in India that week, not everyone is, you can sign up for the live stream and watch it that way. And join us and ask questions, which is a great way to do it for parents too, because you can take care of your kids and leave the room for a second and come back on. So you're welcome to join. We'd love to have a lot of live streamers joining the class.
Yeah. And the class is on the 27th and the 28th of November. And we do also have a short introduction of 1.5 hours on the second day of the energetic manual therapy that Glenna would be doing, which is her specialized class, which I'm just so excited about. It's like, oh my God, I am like, oh, my body's all excited, waiting, just like, oh, can you sense that?
I can, thank you.
Just can I? Yeah. So that's the energetic manual therapy class that Glenna would be facilitating. And on day 2, after class at 7 p.m., we have a 1.5 hour intro to this class. So just to get a feel of it, just to know more, join us.
Absolutely.
And the price of that will be included with the 2-day class.
Yeah, so if you come to the intro night in India, then that basically that will be free. It'll be included in the price of the 2-day.
Yes.
If you're not coming to the 2-day, well, did that make sense? It's too early in the morning for me to make them.
It makes sense to me. I don't know about the rest of you. Did it make sense to you? Do you want us to repeat that, or did you get it? I think they got it. Cool.
Are we going to live stream that class too? We probably will live stream that evening class. We haven't chosen yet.
Yes.
You'll know. It will be somewhere.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, cool. This was really fun.
Awesome. Yeah.
Any last thing you'd like to say about parenting?
I would really like to thank you, Glenna, for creating this fabulous manual. I mean, the day 1 manual it's just so phenomenal that every time I facilitate that, everybody's, including my reality, just goes like that. And now with this manual, this 2-day manual coming up with you, writing it out and creating it the way you do, I truly wonder how much magic would be in that.
Yeah.
And I wonder how many lives could
change. The manual, Gary Douglas did a 6-part telecall, and a lot of the information is from that call that's in the manual. And bits and pieces that I've done over the years. There's a little bit from Brendan Watt in there. So there's a real overview of tools and ways things that you can use to start creating something different with your family.
Yeah.
That will work for you. Thank you for setting this up. It was fun.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And thank you, Glenna, for waking up, for looking so pretty when you just wake up. I mean, how do you do that?
Lipstick does it all.
Can we have a class on that too?
I'll see you soon.
Yes, looking forward to that. Love you guys. Thank you.
Come on, everyone.
Yes. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. See you next week, Glenna.